Yeah, I was praying about my birth, and I felt like I had a lot of peace. I felt like the Lord was telling me that I was going to be able to give birth the way He designed birth to go. And that's not quite what happened.
No.
Nope, I tried to be at home. I tried to give birth to him at home. Didn't go great. I remember I was at home for, 26 hours, I think. Trying, and it was going really pretty fine up until about hour 24.
Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah, but it was fine. I mean, I did still feel the Lord with me and all that stuff, but it just wasn't going quite the way I felt like He told me it was going to go.
Yeah.
And then, about hour 24, there was a bit of a shift in stuff. It wasn't looking so good. And I remember feeling around hour 25, 26-ish, I felt this feeling like, okay, I feel like I need to go to the hospital. But I was struggling with feeling like, am I not going to be trusting Jesus? Am I going to be a failure if I go to the hospital? I really felt like He told me this was going to go a certain way. And but shortly after I felt like He spoke that to my heart, He was speaking to my mom as well.
That's right.
And my mom called, or you called, and He said, I'm on my way. I'm coming. I was woken up from my sleep and I'm on my way.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think Hugh answered my phone call. I don't remember him doing that. What I remember is I tried to call him. I was woken up suddenly. This is from my side, okay? I was woken up suddenly with this knowing, Jesus speaking to my heart, get to Kristen, and she needs to get to the hospital.
Yeah.
That's all I heard, very clearly. I didn't even tell your dad.
Yeah.
I jumped up out of that bed so fast, got my clothes on, and I was heading out the door, and your dad's like, where are you going? I said, I'm going to get Kristen, and we're going to the hospital.
Yeah.
And I tried to call Hugh, but he didn't answer the phone, because what I was going to do is get permission from him.
Yeah.
Like, is it okay if I come? Well, he didn't answer the phone, and then I was like, I don't care if I have permission from Jesus. I'm going.
Yeah.
That's really how I felt. I'm
Yeah.
like, I have to follow my heart. And He was coming to me. He was coming to you. I love that you said you started feeling that in your heart, and then He was speaking to me as well. And so I got in my car and I'm on my way. And this is how I remember it. And if he was on our podcast, he could confirm this, but he's not. What I remember is, since I wasn't able to get a hold of him, and you had said to him, I need to talk to my mom.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I need to talk to my mom. I need
yeah.
mom to be here. And so Hugh looked at the 360 and he said, she's 5 minutes away. So I was already...
Yeah, you were already on your way. When I said I need to talk to my mom,
When I need to talk to my mom, I
was
was 5 minutes from there. So anyhow, I come into the situation and I already know what God spoke to me. It's like, we got to get her to the hospital. But everybody wasn't quite on the same page at first.
No, I think people were trying to protect the original plan, and at that point, it had taken a turn, but it wasn't emergency yet. And I think everybody was just trying to weigh what they knew I wanted, what they knew I'd been praying for, and what needed to be done.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, like I said, I had the sense that we needed to go. The Lord told you the same thing. You came to reassure me, and
Yes.
we were...
And I also remember, first of all, you were so beautiful. The most beautiful pregnant woman I ever saw in my life.
That's very nice.
And I looked at you and I said, honey, you have done good. You have done so good.
Yeah.
But it's time for us to go to the hospital. And at first you were like, but Mom, I wanted to give birth at home. And I said, honey, and you were like, and I don't understand, because you'd prayed.
Yeah, I had
And
a
I
lot
said-
of peace about it.
And I said, honey, I don't understand either. I don't always get why things go the way they go. But I do know this. We are going to the hospital.
Yeah.
And we are going to have a healthy baby and a healthy mama.
Yeah.
That's what I know. That's
Yeah.
all I know. But
Yeah.
that's what I know. We're going to the hospital. And I remember you looking at Hugh. He was like, so tired.
Oh, yeah,
like
we were all
almost
exhausted.
asleep. He was
Yeah.
so exhausted.
Couldn't even pack a bag.
Yes. And you said, you looked over at him and you go, what do you think, Hugh? And he goes, well, whatever you think. And I said, look at me. We are going
Right.
to the hospital. And then Hugh had trouble packing his bags. It's like,
We were all delirious at that
you're
point.
all delirious. The only thing that I probably messed up in that whole thing is I should have been the one
Yeah.
driving.
Right, that's
because
true.
Hugh was driving, and it was like, what?
He lost the car when there was literally only 2 cars on the street besides
Right.
ours.
But anyhow,
Funny.
so we get to the hospital and we find out what the urgency was truly.
Yeah.
Because
It took a while longer still to get Ozzy out, but and I mean, even though it didn't go the way that I had prayed, you can still see Jesus
yes,
protecting us and holding us in this situation. Because, yeah, I mean, it still took about 12 more hours to get him out. And I remember one doctor telling me that there were some things that could go really wrong and that I should already be down in C-section and da-da-da-da-da. But, you know, the Lord knew I wanted to give birth to this baby naturally, or not naturally, vaginally, or however you want to say it. And against all odds, I was able to do that, which was Jesus, you know, being there with
Yes.
us. But then definitely when I gave birth to him, it was very serious. He came
Yes.
out, the cord was wrapped around him twice. He had fluid on his lungs and air in his tummy, so he wasn't breathing.
right?
And they had to rush him down to the NICU. And I wasn't able to see him for the first 24 hours after I'd given birth to him because he was so critical, and we had spiked a fever in labor. It went not so.
I remember there are 3 serious things as to why Jesus said we needed to be at the hospital. 1, the cord was wrapped around his neck twice. 2, you hemorrhaged after you gave birth, bled really bad. And 3, he had an infection that required him to be at the NICU.
Yeah.
Because he was having trouble breathing. So those were like, thank you, Jesus,
That we were there
that
for-
we heard your voice and that we were there.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so go ahead.
Yeah, so then he was down there for 24 hours. I wasn't able to see him. Hugh was able to go down and check on him. And then the morning after I gave birth, his doctor came upstairs to talk to me and Hugh, and she said, it's not looking good. We don't think he's gonna make it.
Wow.
And
Wow. That was hard to hear.
yeah, it was just like, Jesus, I trusted you.
Right.
What is happening? I don't understand.
Right.
Like, I felt like I heard you speaking to me so clearly.
Right.
That you were gonna help me through this, that you were gonna be there for me. And it was just very different. You know, when you look back, you can see,
His hand.
yes, that against all odds,
Yes.
Ozzy is still here.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yes, I remember you calling me, Kristen. I remember you saying, Mom, they're saying that he might not make it.
Yeah.
And of course, I encouraged you right away. I
Yeah.
said, he's going to be fine. He's going to be healthy. What did I tell you? We were going to have a healthy mama and a healthy baby because Jesus said that to me. He spoke that to my heart.
Yeah.
That's what I was holding on to.
Yeah.
Is what Jesus, I heard his voice. Get Kristen to the hospital.
Yeah.
And the outcome is going to be healthy baby, healthy mama. And that's it. So after I got off the phone with you, after I spoke that to you, and then I also shared with you how I had my own emergency with your oldest brother, Justin.
Yeah.
And I got some negative, terrible reports about him too.
Yeah.
And I said, and look at your brother today.
Right.
He's perfect. He's healthy. He's beautiful. It all worked out. And that's exactly what story is going to happen with Ozzy. That's the story we're going to have. And that's it.